The 2.3 banner have finally been announced. Of course, we know that we're going to be getting the Albedo and the Eula rerun. But it seems like the two rerun going to have the same 4-star characters. So there's no difference in the 4-star characters. And they're going to be Bennett, Noel, and Rosaria, which, individually speaking, some of these are really, really good characters. Starting off with the features 5-star character, which is Albedo and Eula. I already made 2 videos talking about these characters individually. I think that both of these characters are alright. They're not the greatest, but if you do like them, if you do enjoy them, you could roll for them. Specifically speaking, especially if you think you're gonna roll for Ito, Albedo might be a good pickup simply because he might work really, really well with him in the future, as Albedo is the signature Geo support. Regardless, let's talk about the 4 stars. Starting off, once again, in the original Albedo banner, it was a Bennett banner, and this time it's no different. Once again, we see another Bennett banner. Bennett is such a great character. Bennett is the best character in the game. He is the best standalone character, but also one of the best characters when you do have synergies, such as using Bennett together with Xiangling. Regardless, Bennett is just such a good pickup, and if you can get Constellation 5 Bennett, he'll be a super good investment for your account. So Bennett here, there's no question, just a really amazing character. Next up, we have Noel. Now, it's really interesting to put Noel in here. Individually speaking, Noel is not that great of a character, simply because currently Geo DPS is not really in the meta. However, I think Noel here is really necessary, and it's important to put her in the banner. So I'm glad they put this character on the banner. Simply because if you roll for Albedo, you're probably in need of a Geo main DPS, which in the case here is Noel. And maybe you roll Albedo in participating that in the future you want to roll Ito. However, what if you don't get Ito? What if you run out of Primo Gem? What if you run out of Wallet? What if something just come up that doesn't allow you to get Ito? Or maybe Ito is just not good. In that case, you still have the safety net of being able to play a Geo comp with your Albedo using the Noel here. So even though that Noel is not a very amazing character individually, at least right now, I think putting Noel here is really good, and it's very important to put it on here just as a safety net for Albedo. Next up, we have the Rosaria characters, which have very good synergy with the other 5-star feature characters, which is Eula. Rosaria is a really amazing crowd battery. Rosaria Constellation 6 can shred physical resistance for Eula. Rosaria does pair really well with Eula. However, Diona is usually preferred instead, as Diona is able to provide a little bit better utility, like using the shield, which Eula really need. Although you could just run Diona and Rosaria together as double crowd support for Eula, so that's not a bad idea here. So Eula does have really amazing synergy with Rosaria. But what's even more important is that Rosaria, individually speaking, is a very good character. Rosaria is probably one of the better 4-star, and Rosaria is used in a lot more than just Eula comp, like either reverse meld comp with Kaya, or recently Rosaria has been peeking into the cryo freeze comp with Ganyu or Ayaka as well. Overall, Rosaria is a very good character, and I think the 4-star here have a lot of value if you're planning on pulling the 5-star characters. If you're not planning on pulling the 5-star character, then obviously don't put a banner. The 4-star practically don't really concern you here. Moving on to the weapon banner, we have Freedom Sworn and Song of Broken Pine. This is a really interesting combination. I think that Freedom Sworn is obviously a really amazing weapon. It's the best in slot for Kazuya, who is a really super strong character. But you can also use it on a lot of other different characters as a support weapon. For example, you can use it on Bennett or Jean. Both of these characters can proc it really quickly, and you're able to grant your entire team a really good buff. However, the problem is that it's ran with the Song of Broken Pine, and Song of Broken Pine is only really used for 2 characters that do physical claymore damage, namely either Razor or Eula. If you care to play Razor or Eula, and you care to pick up for a Song of Broken Pine, this banner is really good, because if you get a Freedom Sworn, there's almost gonna be a guaranteed use case that you can use the Freedom Sworn on. You can put it on your Bennett, Jean, Kazuya. Once again, those are characters that we just named it. So this banner is really good if you care for Song of Broken Pine. If you don't care for Song of Broken Pine, then this is basically a dead weapon. It's honestly like a really dead weapon. So just treat this as other weapon banner with like one good weapon and one like garbage dead weapon that you practically don't ever want to get. In that case, take your chances at the 50-50 or not. That's up to you and your wallet. But the 4-star here are they're alright, I would say. They're not too bad, they're not the greatest. Some of these are pretty good, but some of them are like whatever. Starting off with the Sacrificial Claymore. Nobody really uses this weapon nowadays. At best, use it on Chongyun to double cast his elemental skills. But most of the time, Chongyun is not really played for crowd infusion anymore. So nobody really uses the Sacrificial Claymore. You could use it if you're in desperate need of energy recharge, but that's basically like the only case where you would use this Claymore. Similarly, Wine and Song is a energy recharge codex, but it's basically just outclassed by Phoneus codex because, well, if you for some reason looking for energy recharge, why would you use this weapon over Phoneus codex? Unless of course you for some reason don't have Phoneus codex. But I think by this point of the game, most people probably have at least one copy of a Phoneus codex, maybe even multiple copy, and refine it as well. So overall, Phoneus weapon, Phoneus codex specifically, pretty much outclasses Wine and Song weapon, so this weapon is pretty dead. And then we have the Ali Hunter weapon, which is alright. It's like the best 4 stars for support officials if you have it at high refinement. If you don't have it at high refinement, then Stringless is better. You can also use it on certain other quick swap bow character, which are namely either Sarah or Aloy. For Sarah, I think energy recharge weapon is a little bit better, specifically the Sacrificial bow, or otherwise, or Aloy is just okay. If you're looking to play quick swap Aloy, then Stringless is also a good choice, especially again if you have a high refinement than Ali Hunter. But Ali Hunter is not bad, but you'll be playing Aloy regardless, so you're playing quick swap Aloy, so it's not that great either. Overall, I think Ali Hunter has its use, it's just not many use, and overall it's okay weapon if you do care to use it. Finally, we have the 2 weapons that I think are pretty good. We have Lion Roar, which is used on certain main DPS sword character like Kachin, but specifically speaking, Xingqiu's is the character who you really care to put Lion Roar on in the Raiden national team. In the Raiden national team, you can remove the energy requirement from Xingqiu's by a good amount, which lets you drop the Sacrificial Sword. Additionally, because in Raiden national team, Raiden is able to apply electric infusion, which lets you proc the Lion Roar passive. So Lion Roar is actually the best damaging weapon for your Xingqiu's in a Raiden national team. So because of that, Lion Roar have a lot of good value, as Xingqiu's is a really good character, and potentially you might have a Raiden, or you might be picking up a Raiden in the future. And finally, we move on to the best weapon in this banner, which is Dragon Bane. Dragon Bane is one of the best 4-star polearm at the moment, simply because a lot of the polearm character really care for it, namely either Hu Tao, Xiangling, or Rosaria. Dragon Bane is the second best weapon for Hu Tao, specifically because Staff of Homer is her best. Especially at high refinement, a Dragon Bane on Hu Tao, it could be very deadly. And then we have Xiangling and Rosaria, who both really like the Dragon Bane in a similar reason as Hu Tao as well. The Dragon Bane for Xiangling is really good for pretty much any team that you want to do Vaporize reaction in, which is 80% of the Xiangling team comp. The other team comp where you don't really care are namely team comp like Reverse Melt or Pure Pyro. In those cases, you don't want to run Dragon Bane, but most of the time you're going to be using Vaporize Xiangling, so you're going to be wanting to run Dragon Bane. In fact, if you want to run Reverse Melt, you're probably going to be using the Dragon Bane or Rosaria. The Dragon Bane is a really good weapon when you're running the Reverse Melt Rosaria, as it's able to provide elemental mastery and is able to provide the passive that work when you're hitting a pyro infused enemy, which is of course when you play Reverse Melts. So Dragon Bane overall is a really good weapon, but that pretty much is for the banner. Some of these other weapons, specifically like Sacrificial Claymore and the one I saw, is just not that good. Overall, I think the weapon banner is alright. It's decently good if you care about Song of Broken Pine. It's like decently average, or if you don't care about the Song of Broken Pine. But the character banner is really good if you do care about the 5-star characters. So overall, these will generate a lot of value for your account if you care for the 5-star characters. And obviously, if you don't care, then just don't roll, save your money. You know, you should pretty much never roll for the banner if you don't care about the 5-star character, especially because you might want to roll some new character in the future like Shinhee, or Eugene. But that's pretty much it for the banner reaction video. Hopefully you guys learned something again from this video, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye, YouTube Frog.